Join us for a review of the Porsche Macan Facelift GTS. Let's go! We can see when you have a front view camera, then you would not have just the straight bar here, but there's then a gap in the middle. So this car does not have a front view camera. But new with the facelift, LED from standard equipment, and then option you can get the dynamic LED lights. You can also see the daytime running light here in a new form, but again the main headlamp unit is also LED now and it looks a little bit more modern. 4.68 m or 184 inches is the length of the Porsche Macan, this mid-size SUV or compact SUV, depending on the definition. In Europe it would rather be a mid-size SUV because it's also on this mid-size platform. Then you can see the GTS models usually come, not with these, but standard with black wheels in 20-inch. A General Macan comes with 18-inch base. Again, then the GTS 20-inch and optional 21. Again, this typical GTS trim would rather be black wheels. We also have some shots for these. You can take a look at that. Here we have non-black wheels, or let's say dual tone. So we have silver on the outside, some dark gray on the inside. But this here has this spider design, so 90s BBS inspired. Really cool design. So you can also take a look at how a GTS looks like when it doesn't have the all black wheels. The Macan Facelift introduced this new rear styling with the light strip that goes all around the vehicle. So it's a very elegant design and even a little bit three-dimensional going in there. Other than that, pretty seamless here again. The GTS has the black elements in the lower part, also the black frames around the exhaust. Special sports exhaust standard with the GTS with 4 pipes. Yeah, I know there's the Jaguar E-Type, which hoods open in the reverse way, but from current modern cars, this hood is one of the most spectacular ones because you have these massive cutouts for the headlamps. Yeah, this is really interesting, and they leave this huge gap in here, has been all the way with the start of the Macan, and the reason is, when we close it again, so you can have everything here, very seamlessly integrated. The headlamps then, are surrounded by these, and you don't need any split anywhere else. So this leads to a more seamless design. Very interesting. Well, about the engines. You get this 2-liter 4-cylinder engine for the base Macan. Then the Macan S would be a 3-liter V6. And then here the 2.9-liter V6 bi-turbo then instead of single turbo for the GTS and the turbo. Here in the GTS has 380 horsepower now, so been upgraded. 440 it would be in the turbo, so this is also slower in the acceleration than the turbo with 4.7 seconds. Let's take a look at the interior together. First of all, door closing sound. That sounds quite solid, doesn't it? The GTS on the interior is characterized with a lot of Alcantara use, so this microfiber material, non-animal surface, also some stitches right there. In this case we have this dark brushed aluminum inlet, like it looks quite fancy and also has like a matte feeling to it. Then black Macan GTS entry badges. And we have my favorite Alcantara steering wheel. It's really cool, you have a good grip, it's warm in winter, it's cool in summertime, this is a big advantage. And there are also special cares for it when you are afraid that it gets, ugly faster than with the slick surface. As I said, there are special care instructions for that. And it's longer lasting than you think, so I would always go for the Alcantara steering wheel. It just brings you so much more joy in your everyday driving life. And now let's get inside. No shoe tap today because it's just dry asphalt here. And it's indeed a nice and cozy seating position. However, this Macan, if I compare it to other SUVs, it is this rather cramped, sporty feeling, so it's not like an open, spacious feeling. That's again the Porsche philosophy, and these sport seats, they are actually pretty tight. So if you want a more open seat for more comfort, then again the base Macan or the base seat, which you get in normal Macan or Macan S for example, would be way to go. So this is again if you have a more sporty approach to that and also appreciate this, sportier caged in feeling. 1.86 or 6'1", and without the panoramic roof, there's plenty of headroom left. Even with the panoramic roof, it will still work, no problem. You have a lot of adjustments here, for example, for lumbar support, and then told you 8-way sport seat, so you can also adjust actually the tightness of the seat a little bit. So here you can make it a little bit more open, or you can close the bolster, so to say. So it is somewhat adjustable, and even the front part of the seat right there for longer legs, that's of course coming quite handy. Interior overview with the horizontal stress. When you have the sports chrono package, you also have the analog clock right there. This 11-inch, or to be Germanly exact, 10.9-inch screen comes with the facelift, also with the Apple CarPlay integration, also wireless now, soon a little bit more deals to the screen. You still have this manual volume knob, for example, here, and some physical hotkeys, for example, to the GPS and so on. I just wonder, I would have like the GPS hotkey right and left to the driver and not like they have to go around shifting lever, which is covered with Alcantara. Then in the lower part you see this is pretty much old school. Some love it, some don't like it. You have, for example, the temperature control, still manual. I like to have it still manual, although this is a rather weird way to do it because it's a little bit complicated. So temperature controls just with round dials are always easier to use. And then, for example, also seat heating, that is quite well accessible. And in the lower left part here, you have the PASM settings, so you can change the suspension modes. If you would have the optional air suspension, it would be, like here, then we would have 4 buttons here, and then there would be an optional lowering down button for the air suspension. The instruments are rather classic. Remember, the Macan is on the old Audi Q5 platform. You see here the instruments, all analog in the middle, left side for the speed as well. And on the right side, there's the only digital gauge. And it's actually quite nice because you can switch, for example, also to a GPS view in there. So here we go. And then you can see something of that rather in your line of sight. So the infotainment system, you can see here the CarPlay integration. And the sound of this optional Bose sound system is really very, full of nuances. You feel the different levels. Wow, that's really cool. So happy with that. Of course, the bass of the Bose sound system is usually quite heavy, so you maybe need to turn it down if that's a little bit too much for you, but you can also adjust it in the equalizer. Other than that, this infotainment system being controlled rather with the main menu on the left side. You can individualize everything. Phone, either via CarPlay, Bluetooth Classic would also be possible. But what about extra leg space? Do we have some? Let's get inside. Here we go. And This does exactly fit when I have the seat as I would be seating like this. So some space in front of my knees left. Headroom also no problem. This of course in this case better when we do not have the panoramic roof. Here also we have the microfiber headlining in this very vehicle. And indeed it's an upright cozy seating position, so you get along in the rear very well. Also as a tall person, has always been special with the Macan to open the rear hatch right there below the wiper blade. That's, you know, a unique feature and a good integration. You have to know it, but then it does save some space and some weird design element somewhere lower or something. So clean solution. There we go. And the liter capacity is 500 to 1,500 liters. Good square dimensions, some space underneath. That's the optional Bose sound equipment. You can also fit a replacement tire right there. And let me take some measurements. The length is about 94 centimeters in the middle, in the side, and 98 in the middle. And width, about standard 1 meter, a little bit more. And the height here to the cover is about 45 centimeters. Welcome to Thomas's active driving lounge. We put that one to sport mode, and the exhaust note is also active, and we can also put it to the PSM Sport. Dry road here today, and in this setup we can also do a launch control when no one is coming. And please don't repeat. Well, there was a hole, so now I won't push it all the way through, but at least in the first acceleration. Let's go. Whoa, that was already a little bit more than 70 kilometers. Wow, that was a big push, right? And that was also, you know, like significant difference to the other Macan models. Of course, the turbo offers that as well, but there's like, whew, so that is a significant push really. And you also feel this all-wheel drive acceleration. Also have this all-wheel drive meter mounted right there. I can see that mainly is the power with the rear wheels, but the more I push the throttle, again, more to the front, and with the launch control you also have a nice even distribution. So wow, that was quite serious, definitely. Now we have a nice curvy road in front of us, and we can use all the potential of the GTS here with the PASM, the adaptive suspension, and the 21-inch wheels. That's really what is with comfort when we have some uneven road here and there. Put some comments to that. So that's actually quite okay, but again, if you want more comfort, go with the 20-inch wheels and air suspension setup as for that. Quite good feeling for the brakes too. And the thing is, you know, when you drive here at about 70 kilometers an hour, it feels so slow because you are in so good control of the vehicle. And you feel it could easily also go on the racetrack and wouldn't have any problems with that. Here with the 2.9 liter bi-turbo 6-cylinder, you also have a decent sound, definitely. And in the sport mode, more throttle input, better response, and the natural driving feeling with that steering wheel is really cool. The greater grip with the microfiber surface, so that's a lot of fun to steer it around. And even if you go in some slalom commands, this really follows you wherever you want to go. Pretty cool. And they really managed to have this sporty Porsche feeling in an SUV. It's even more fun than in a Cayenne because it's just a smaller and lighter car. So that's actually no wonder. And yeah, sometimes, especially when you have the GTS equipment, you feel like you would be in a put-up 718 or in a put-up 911 or something. And that's exactly what they intended to. Nevertheless, you have the more upright seating position and more comfort. Here, especially when being in the corners, these Alcantara seats also help us pretty much that we don't slide around too much. Long-term comfort-wise, I have to say that the base Macan seats give you more seating comfort just on longer journeys. The sport seats here, the upgrade sport seats, keep you, tighter in the seating. That is good for cornering, but long-term comfort would be better in the base Macan. So I already had these thoughts, so when you don't necessarily need the highest sporty boost and don't want to spend so much money, then you can also go with the base Macan and go with the Alcantara seats there, and then just live with the 4-cylinder, which is powerful enough, so to say. But if you really want it sporty, then of course you have the best performance here in the GTS model, together with all these sporty features. And with the rear bias of the all-wheel drive, I also can accelerate out of the corners. There's a rear differential lock if you want to go really extreme. Plus, they also put in some torque vectoring here, so that the speed of the inside and the outside wheel is adjusted, so that the outside wheel then in the corner is always faster than the inside wheel on the same axle here, and then especially at the rear. And that also, pushes you in and out of the corners a little bit better. So helpful and so easily and precise. I can follow these corners right here. Good, always on the gas, accelerating out. The throttle input is, even though in the sports mode, not too aggressive, by the way. So you do need to press it, yes, but of course there's always power available, no doubt about that. Let's see, everything is safe right here. Other guys filming the GTS. Accelerating out. So there is still a difference to some other high revving sports cars. You need to give it more punch a little bit from the throttle, even in the sports mode. There is also the Sports Plus mode available. That is then a little bit more extreme. So then you're a little bit better at the gas, so you can also adjust it. And you can also use the shifting pedals. So if you want to just go a gear lower, use your left hand and then accelerate out right there. So if you want even more RPM, just use the shifting pedals. They give you this crisp feedback, really cool. Pull up, use the right hand then to shift up once again, and that's really so much fun. At the same time, you're not too aggressive, because this upright SUV seating position makes you relax in a way. So it's a nice compromise here between having the sporty driving fun and still being relaxed. In some true sports cars, you have the great sporty feeling, but then you always have like this, I need to attack the next corner. And here it's more like, I can take the next corner if I want to, but I can also take it easy anytime I want, go back to the normal driving mode and just relax again. So, and I think this compromise is really cool. And now to our conclusion for today. Again, Porsche Macan Facelift, and especially today the Porsche Macan GTS. The most important thing. Yes, Miami blue rocks still. At least I think so. And of course, even more fitting maybe to Porsche Boxster, for example. Well, in general, the facelift brought these new LED lamps in the front, this new cool styling in the rear with the tail lamps, and of course the new infotainment system, the most important facelift changes. Then the Macan GTS especially also received this new 2.9 liter bi-turbo engine, the very same as the turbo has. And I mean, yes, it has a little bit less horsepower, but due to the suspension setup and due to this microfiber stressed interior, it is indeed the sportiest Macan. I can agree to that, although we do not have the highest horsepower spec. So I think, what they claim is exactly true in that case. Which Macan to pick from? Because we presented all versions to now. So, it's a tricky question, definitely. Let me just first sum up this GTS for today. Of course, it's cool to have the extended Alcantara package. That's also a way to go for if you go for a high-spec Macan. And it's also a better deal than with the turbo. The turbo, to be honest, is just an overpriced car for getting the highest horsepower figure. You already get the same very powerful engine right in here. And together also with the aggressive sound, with more black accentuations, even, or especially when we would have the black wheels, which are usually coming for the GTS, then it would even have a more aggressive look here today, so you can also vary that. Which ride you want to have, how stiff or how soft, you can really vary that also with the wheels. If you stick with the 20-inch, it's a little bit more comfortable, and you should probably then go 20-inch wheels, air suspension combination if you want the most comfort, and 21-inch, as we have here today, and with the PASM adaptive suspension if you want the stiffest ride, so you can really pick it as you like. So, which Macan is the right one for you? As I said, if you go for a high-spec sporty Macan, I think the GTS is a way to go to get most Alcantara on the interior and a more sporty, aggressive styling and riding feeling. If you want the best price performance deal, indeed it would still be the 4-cylinder Macan, even though if some say, yeah, is it really, the proper thing to do? But if you don't use your Macan for daily racing, it will still serve the purpose, and you have the Porsche feeling still, you have an agile driving feeling and the best price performance ratio. Actually, the base interior is also the best one together with the GTS one, so that's also nothing, where you would miss something. Some go for the Macan S because they don't want to pay too much money, but then already want the 6-cylinder. Yeah, maybe for the sound. But at the end of the day, I would actually say either, go price performance, get the base Macan, or then again, if you spend a high trim, more money Macan and want it sportier, then actually go for the GTS. That would be my evaluation after having, dissected all of these versions. Please also join us for the other Macan reviews. We will all link them in the video description and in the pinned comment. And of course, we would like to know from you, which Macan would you actually go for? Or, there was recently a very interesting thought, actually, so many people have written to me that they choose a Cupra Ateca now, or even switch from a Macan to a Cupra Ateca, which no one would have, thought, because it's like 10k less than the base Macan, but already comes with more horsepower in the 4-cylinder. So, also interesting, smaller choice. Other than that, of course, you have a Mercedes GLC, depending on the horsepower trim, then a 43 or a 63. From the AMG models, for example, you have a BMW X3 as the M Performance model, or then the true X3M if you go high horsepower spec up the turbo. And we also have these reviews if you want to check them out. So you can check this and also the Audi XQ5, for example, or RSQ5 and so on. So tune into these episodes and please leave us a feedback. Thanks so much for tuning in today.